It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
I think, Brian, this is a good question. I want to see if we can answer it without like getting nitty gritty details, but stay high level and it still be valuable because we actually get this a pretty good bit. He says, I have some question on the mechanics of drawdown. And that sounds way more in depth than I think we should go. But do you recommend a sort of reverse DCA by selling biweekly, monthly to sort of emulate a paycheck, maybe quarterly, maybe annually? So I think what KBA is asking is, you know, when I'm building wealth, I dollar cost average into the market, and I build. But then when it's time for me to start decumulating, time for me to start pulling it out, do I just like, if I need $5,000 a month, do I like sell $5,000 this month and then pull it out and then sell $5,000 this month? Or is there something that happens when I go from accumulation to decumulation that'll change my psyche around that?
Well, there's quite a few things. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts when you approach and it's okay to transition from saver to spender or consumer of your resource, because that's what you work hard for. That's why you save. But think about this, guys. When we talk about, like, especially like an financial order of operation, step 4, emergency reserves, we're always talking about for while you're working, it's 3 to 6 months. And you have to figure out it's 3 months if I could get a job tomorrow. It's 6 months if there's a little bit more, how many people in the household are working. When you retire, that number jumps up. It might be 18 months to 36 months.
Yep.
Part of that is because it's the answer to the question in a lot of ways is that you want to have access to more liquidity. So hopefully, because remember, I've mentioned this in an earlier answer, and the fact that liquidity and margin keeps you from making knuckleheaded mistakes when you hit disasters or complicated or volatile situations. Because if you're feeling squeezed, if you're feeling desperate, you will make bad mistakes financially. If you have margin, you can see the clarity of what the situation needs from a decision standpoint. So that's why yes, there's an opportunity cost for expanding that liquidity, but I'm telling you, you'll get it back in the premium of making good decisions long term. So you might want to, you'll always cycle through when you replenish that 18 to 36 months of cash reserves. You're going to look at your asset allocation. You're going to say, man, large cap stocks have been crushing it. I mean, they are, instead of me having this percent, I have like 15% more than I'm supposed to as a percentage of the total holding just because it's appreciated. I'm going to go dial that back. The other side of it is, what if the market's getting its teeth kicked in?
I was going to say, Brian, we had a lot of clients that were retired in 2020 during COVID. And just because the market tanked, we didn't call them and say, hey, by the way, your monthly paycheck that the portfolio sends you, we're just not going to send that because the market's down. I mean, can you imagine what a shock to your system that would be? What we were able to do is, because we had that cash sitting in the portfolio, their distribution still happened. And you know what we didn't have to do? Because we had that 12 to 36 months of cash available, we didn't have to sell during that downturn. We were able to do things like loss harvest and take advantage of the volatility, not have to react to the volatility and make poor decisions. So giving yourself, you said that, Brian, giving yourself that margin allows you to make better decisions over the course of your financial life cycle.
Yeah, and you might even find that it's those periods like that even your bonds and your boring stuff actually outperforms, and you can even sell off that stuff too. I mean, that's what if you do diversification right, if you do cash flow planning right and liquidity planning in retirement, you're going to have resources to pull off of without having to liquidate something that's down, 20, 30% from where you think it's fairly valued.